All right, hello everyone. My name is Eric Zinger. I'm here with the Hartsdale Neighbors Association, and I'm joined by candidate for Greenberg Central School District Board of Education, Adonia Mans. Adonia, thank you for being here with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Eric, for having me. It's a pleasure.
Just a reminder, everyone, the election for Greenberg Board of Education is May 21st. Voting is from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., and that's at Woodlands Middle High School at 475 West Hartsdale Avenue. The budget will also be up for approval from the town, so please make sure that you come out to vote for your candidate of choice, come out to support the budget, and May 21st, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. So for anyone who wants, there is a video of all of the candidates together from the candidates night that the PTA put together. They did an excellent job with that event, and you can find that on YouTube if you just search, Greenberg PTA candidates night. Here at Hartsdale Neighbors, we're interviewing some of the board members, any board member who they were all invited to participate. And we're just going to interview them one-on-one, give you a chance to just hear a little bit more from them and help inform you as you make your vote. So, Adonia, again, thank you for being with us here tonight. Why don't you start by telling everyone, tell us a little bit about yourself, your experience, and why you're running for Board of Education.
Yeah, sure. So, like I mentioned at candidates night, I'm connected to the district. I'm a third generation graduate from my family. So Greenberg is very near and dear to my heart, and it always will be. I graduated from Woodlands High School. I took an accounting course there, and believe it or not, I decided to pursue a career in accounting. So I am an accounting professional. Currently, I'm a senior manager of accounting at a pharmaceutical company called AZI in Nutley, New Jersey. I am running because I have been very active with my children's education recently, and I have a son at the middle school, two daughters at Richard J. Bailey. And so, what I really want to do is ensure that the policies that we have in place really fit the needs of all the children in the school district. So, that's one of my goals. Another goal of mine, too, is to really start working again with the facilities committee, just taking a look at our current resources and what we can do with what we have and what that could look like, in the future. And another big thing I would love to do is really start working with the board for community engagement. I think that's very, very important. We all know that a strong school system is dependent upon a strong community as well. So just, getting our face out there a little bit more is one of my goals too. So a couple of reasons why I'm running.
Great. So why don't you tell us, obviously the board works as a team and things like that, but everyone's, has their different areas of interest or focus. Tell me what aspects of the board's responsibilities would you be focusing on? What would you like to, either an area that you would like to improve that needs improvement or something that's currently a strength that you want to build upon even further?
Yep, that's a good question. So again, fostering partnerships is a good goal of mine that I would like to do. I want to get more in contact with community leaders. I feel like sometimes they're not in tune, and definitely, like I said, with the people of the community. Another room for area for improvement is in terms of funding, maybe exploring different ways outside of grants to try to get funding to improve our current facilities.
Okay. Um, So you brought it up, so I'll maybe go out a little bit of order in terms of capital needs. Obviously the town, or excuse me, the school district was able to pass a successful capital budget or a successful capital bond for the first time in a really, really long time. Obviously, there continue to be additional capital needs that exist. In terms of those kinds of capital projects, infrastructure projects, big things, what do you see as the biggest priorities for the district to pursue? Should they start maybe getting the ball rolling with, these small bonds that, they roll off and then you put another one on. And as the district looks to build momentum there, what do you see as the priority for capital funding?
I mean, there's quite a few priorities. I know the FinFAC committee went through probably about 8 or 10 of them, and they did prioritize them. Now, I can't remember them off the top of my head, Eric. I have so much information in my mind right now. But one thing that does come to my mind is I went on a tour of the high school. I think it was last Thursday. FinFAC had a tour, just to see all the work that's going to be happening. And what really touched my heart were our science labs. I was really surprised to see how much despair they were in. I remember growing up being in those science labs and being able to utilize the sinks for water and utilize the gas pipelines, to do something with a Bunsen burner. And we're at a point where we can't do that. So it just really hurt my heart to kind of see that. And I would like to see, some type of, I mean, there is some funding coming for that. I think we have some eye wash stations and there's something else. But just to make it more functional and usable for the children, it's very important. STEM is like a really big thing now, And so if the district can, get up to speed with that, that'd be great. And of course, we know that's going to take baby steps, but to get the ball rolling, to at least put the word out there to the community, hey, this is what this looks like. This is what we need. That would be a start.
Okay, great. So, one thing that I'm asking all the candidates, it's something I've heard some feedback from. It's something I'm a little concerned about, to be honest, as well. There's been significant turnover at all levels of employment at GCSD. Obviously, we have a new superintendent, but besides that, whether it's director of technology, whether it's deans, whether it's things like that, there has been a lot of turnover. What would you suggest, or do you think that's a concern to bring more stability to the district? I think, you know, what are your thoughts on that and the feedback that maybe some people have been on giving in terms of, bring some stability in the leadership positions?
Yeah, that's a great question. Again, me personally, I would have to see what other districts are doing to retain the talent in those positions. So another one of my goals is, if elected, I want to start connecting with other board members that are part of the Westchester and Putnam, I guess, board association. Not sure if I said it right. Just to see, what's working well for you guys to retain your deans or retain your director of technology. What kind of supports do you have in place? Do you guys have resources if they're having challenges? And so those are the type of things that I want to take away from them and bring it back to the board and kind of say, hey, can we do this too? Is that something that could work here? For me, something like that, Eric, is like an engineering process. You gotta reach out, you gotta do your research, bring a plan together, see if it's gonna work, revisit it if it doesn't, and then just keep rolling with the punches, if you will, to see what will work, if anything.
Okay. What do you think is something that is a misconception, either about the current board, about the school district, about the community? What's something that you think is a misconception that a lot of people are like, you know what, I really think it's X, but actually, it really turns out that it's a lot different than that. It's why. What do you think is one of those misconceptions that, in a leadership role on the board of education, you would look to try and get the right information out there about?
Yeah, so I haven't heard any negative comments about the board or anything like that. But to be honest with you, when I went to go get signatures for my petition, I didn't go in front of back me or BJ's. I went knocking on doors. And I knocked on about three who are not in the district, but they saw my petition anyway. I think that was really nice. But their thing is the classroom management, and because of that, their children were having distractions, so they removed them from the district. Not sure if that's a misconception or per se. But to hear that kind of hurt my heart, because sometimes we will have those distractions, but it just was kind of like, is it seriously all of that going on to make you leave the district, or was there a little bit more to it? And again, I think it just comes to having the right resources for the teachers, so they can have, I guess, effective classroom, management for the children, so they don't have to leave.
So going back to the candidates night, I was struck by one of the things that you mentioned about meetings and making them more efficient, whether that be shorter or looking at things in different ways. Is that something that you could maybe I'm going to give you the chance to kind of expound on that. Is the goal, what kind of changes, I know obviously you're not on the board yet, but when you talk about like meetings and things like that, what do you think, what are changes that you would suggest, either to make the board work more efficiently, get more community involvement, get better feedback? What are some of changes like that, when you talk about meeting length, that you as an outsider think that you could bring a fresh approach or perspective to? And by
Yeah,
outsider, I just mean that you're not currently on the board.
yeah, no, totally. I mean, I was just at a meeting last night and it took me an hour and a half to put a public comment in. And I feel like, not everyone has that stamina or that determination. So if we could maybe restructure the format of how that works, that would be great. I think you would definitely get more um, involvement for the community in that aspect. But I'm the type of person, Eric, to be honest with you, being that I'm new to even all of this whole process, why do we have to do it this way? Why can't we change it? It's like, does it have to be status quo? I feel like sometimes when things are traditional, that's okay, but times have changed. So sometimes we have to relook at things, think outside the box, and again, try to reformat it. And if it didn't work, well, let's try it again and do it a different way. So it's really just opening people's eyes, making sure the people you're working with have an open mind and kind of agree to that and see if it could work. So that's
Mhm.
how I would approach that.
do you think that kind of your a lot of the people who are running are in the education industry, if you will, whether it's just involved in education in general, whether it's working for another district, things like that. You're obviously more of a corporate background. How do you think that differentiates you from some of the other candidates? What separates you in that regard? Different approach, different style, different skill sets. What do you think makes you unique as a candidate? Is it maybe that corporate background, or what do you think?
Yeah, well, I think what's going to separate me is I'm coming in with a fresh set of eyes. I'm coming in truly, like as a parent, seeing it from this point of view. I'm also in tune, like I said, with a lot of educators myself that my children, work with, and not work with, but they're instructed by, I should say. And like I said, I'm in tune with parents. So I'm hearing things from different angles that I feel like some people may not be comfortable enough speaking with to an educator, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's my thing. And like I said, just coming at it from thinking outside the box. Can we try to do that approach? I think that would be fresh and inviting to the current board. Um, I think also my motivation, how can I put it, Eric? I like to get results, and I'm not going to stop until I get it, right? And so, again, not trying to say that maybe the other board's members aren't like that, but I'm always up there, trying to fight, to make sure things make sense. So that's how I kind of see that.
Okay. Well, I only have like one more question, and then I'll obviously give you a chance at the end if there's anything that you want to just make sure that you cover again or haven't had a chance to touch on. But before I do that, if people out there have a question for you or want to get in touch with you to ask you about your campaign, whether it's to volunteer, whether it's anything, what's the best way for someone who's watching this who might have a question that we didn't ask tonight to get in touch with you?
Yeah, well, I have a website. It's called voteformans.com, VOT for MANNS.com.
So the
At the
number
bottom of the
four,
page,
or
oh, yeah, sorry, the number 4. So at the bottom of the page, there is a box where you can leave a comment or a question. If you want me to speak to your group, I'm there too. And then I just started a Facebook page. It's called Vote for Mans. So you can also use that resource as well.
great. So one last question. I think there's obviously 5 candidates running for 3 seats. Are you supporting any other candidates or endorsing them as part of your candidacy or run?
I'm a one-woman show right now, Eric.
Okay.
Here we go.
Any final thoughts or final comments, things that you think, people should really know, or something that we didn't get a chance to touch on tonight that you'd like to share?
Well, like you said, I think Candidates Night was a great highlight to see all of us. So definitely look at that again. Definitely check out my page. I'm going on Facebook too. I'm going to be uploading videos to kind of just, be transparent and let people know, hey, this is why I'm running for the board. This is why it's important you go out to vote. I think those little videos are going to add a lot of value to some things that people don't see. Because it's interesting, Eric, when I told people I was running for the board, they don't really understand what the board did. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got to break this down to you guys. So it's like, we're overseeing and managing the children's education in the public school sector. But there's also some other little things that are going on too behind the scenes that I think people need to know. So when they're out there, looking for the candidates, make sure your candidate can hit all of those points and you feel comfortable with them. Again, I'm going to be that type of candidate that's in your face. I don't mean to say it like that, but I'm not afraid to knock on the door and let you know what's going on. I want to have those connections with people. I think it's very important because, again, there's people that want to speak up, but they don't know how to. And so I'm here to make sure everyone's voice is heard. It's not what we say, it's how we say it. And I do a really good job with that. So we're good.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to participate. Again, the election is May 21st. It's Vote for Mans, vote the number 4, MANNS.com. If you want to get in touch with Adonia. And again, thank you for participating. May 21st. Come out and vote.
Yep, it's my birthday too. So come and say happy birthday.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.